those files securely to that particular user only. So like I just made this particular file public, and if I open it here, yeah, so this is like the file opens up and you can share this link with everyone. Although right now we are running on our local host, but as you access the app on the mainnet, you can share it on any other platform or to any other user. Also, like some of the feedback that we got previously during our beta was that we need to have some way to remove these public files. So we thought, okay, let's give a remove button to do that as well. So you can do that. Um, so yeah, like these were the two files that I just uploaded and it got uploaded. And to give good user experience, we thought, okay, let's have a thumbnail here, and on just hovering over the file, you get its details like file size and when it was uploaded. You can double click directly and view it on your browser. But this one is local to your only. Like if you want to show it to other people, then you need to share it to the other people via here. And let's say like you already have files stored in other storage medium like Dropbox and Google Drive and do not want to upload files manually, then you can go to this import feature where either you can use this Google Drive option. I guess it didn't open up. Let me try with Dropbox. Yeah, so in case you already do not have access to that, what page you will see is that this one where you will be asked to log in via your Dropbox and select your account, your Dropbox account, and then you get all your Dropbox files. You can see here, and let's say if I want to transfer this file, this file, this file, like 4 of these files to IC Drive, I just click choose and the upload starts. So like we wanted to make this process seamless, that how you can transfer data from Google Drive and Dropbox in a seamless manner. Let me try if Google Drive works here. Yeah. So right now with Google Drive, you can only transfer files which are like images, PDFs. You cannot transfer Google Slides file. But if there are any other files, let's say this image particularly, you can transfer that and any other file directly. Select and then the uploading starts. And you can go to this profile page and see, okay, this is your username that you set while logging in. These were the cycles that you get when you logged in. So these are like 600 billion cycles for now. Tells you the current storage max you have, 4 GB, and the amount your storage files are taking in. And this is the canister ID where all of your data is stored, and this is only controlled by the user itself. So IC Drive, we do not control any of your data. Users canister are the ones who are in control of their data. And just to make this process like again simple, we wanted to have a search functionality. So if you want to search any of your files, if you have let's say hundreds or thousands of that, you can again see them. So this was the file actually which I just transferred from Google Drive to here. And yeah, let's say I want to transfer it to another user, in which case, let's say I want to transfer to this user, Coder888. I can ask one of my friends, okay, what's your username, and I'll transfer your file. And then I can go to this share, enter his username here, his or her username here, and then click on share. So this is like only you both have access to then this file. Nobody else can have access to these files then. Yeah, so it says file shared here. And if I go now here, yeah, so those Dropbox files that you just transferred, like couple of files, that is now visible here. So you can just select any of those files and play around like how you do normally, but we want you to move from other storage services. So this is your way to do it in a seamless manner. And okay, I need to refresh maybe. Yeah, so this is the file that another user just shared to me. I can see it here, and then again access it, make it public, and do other functionalities like create new folders, whatever. I can show notifications, fix here, nobody is going to see it. So I guess that's pretty much it overall about IC Drive and how you can use it to manage your files. Uh, Especially like all of this data is on chain, so that is quite interesting as compared to the Web2 offerings that people are generally used to. And if you have any feedback while using the app, you can put it here. And yeah, there is another feature, like if you do not like this grid feature at all, that's fine. You can move to this list view feature, uh, where again you can do any of those functionalities. So that's pretty much it on the demo side. Then I'll ask Ravish to share his screen and then walk through us through some code.
Yeah, so thanks, Nadir. Now I'm sharing my screen. Okay, so now regarding the technical side of this application, so in the programming part we have created there are total three canister. One canister manages the front end. There is one canister which is IC Drive, which manages the user data, his profile, and saves his canister ID for a communication and stuff. So let me just go to the types of user. So for a particular user, currently we have created these 6-7 fields which we want to store. Mainly what important is his canister ID and his principal ID and the username that he creates while logging into the application. The email we were just using for initially beta purpose for circulating the access to selected users, which will be removed in the future for further privacy. And name, we just kept it for the future, maybe if necessary, but we are not asking for name of the person. So all of these informations are managed by the IC Drive canister, which is our main canister. And then in the real time, whenever a user logs into IC Drive, we create a canister for him and grant him around 500 billion or 600 billion cycles, and he gets an instance of this file handle canister, which manages all of his files, and all of the functionalities related to his file is managed by his file handle canister. So there are currently two owners of this file handle canister. One is the user himself who logs into the system, and another one is us. We are owner of his canister only for the purpose of updating the canister, because currently updating the canister if without having the ownership is not possible. Otherwise there is no other functionality which have been coded or is being used on users canister by the IC Drive canister. So this was the overall architecture. Next, okay, so for the file canister there are also the we are using two types. This is the main type, which is the file info. So whenever you save a file, we store these informations regarding the file which are related to the metadata and making the file experience of the user better. And there are two states, which are, first one is for storing the metadata of the file, and second one is for storing the file itself. All the chunks of the file which comes to the backend are saved in this chunks state. So now let me just go through the CRUD operations. So whenever a user creates initiate a file create, so firstly the metadata of the file from the front end is transferred to this create file function, and this function stores the metadata of this file and return the file ID to the front end. Then the front end actually uses that file ID and starts saving the chunks of that file into this using this chunks function, which we have in the bottom. So yeah, so put file chunks function, so it will just generate a chunk ID of that particular chunk, and then it will start storing the file in chunk by chunk format. So currently we have divided file into 1.5 megabytes of chunk. Creating a larger chunk size actually creates an error. Currently the system supports 1.5 MB of chunks, so you cannot transfer more than that, and that works fine. Next is, if you want to retrieve a file, then you can go for get file chunk function. So whenever you double click on the file, So the file ID, and we start the chunk number from 1 to, and whatever the total number of chunks are there, all of them are recursively means called using a loop, and the entire file gets transferred to the front end and it's shown to the user, or it's downloaded at his end. Next is the delete operation. So in the same way, we are also deleting the file. So when you just click on the delete function, this delete file function gets called and it deletes your file. And then next, how are we scaling these canisters? So whenever the user logs into the system, we firstly create an object of that file handle canister, and during this creation we transfer 600 billion cycles to that canister, and the canister gets created. It takes around 5 to 10 seconds and we get that canister. Now then we fetch the canister ID, and we store that canister ID and user's principal ID and information in our database, which is the user database. So it is this file here. So whenever you create your account, there is this hash map in which your data gets stored. And so next, again back to file canister scaling. So then we are using this management canister functions, and using this management canister we are assigning the controllers of that particular canister. One is we ourselves and second one is the user. And then these functions are also the part of management canisters, which gets passed, and then the user canister gets created. And we created another just variable user count to just get a count of how many users are in our particular application. So once all of this process gets completed in the front end, you get redirected to your dashboard, and during this process it takes around 15 seconds. So that's why you see a little bit of delay while you first time log into our system. So next is public. Okay, now updating a canister. So when you run the update operations, so your main canister, our front end canister gets updated, and this file handle canister also gets updated. But the canisters that we have created in the real time, these canisters will not get updated. For these canisters, so we just created another function using the management canister itself, which I'm going to explain. So it's in the bottom. Okay, so while we first update the canister, we actually created a flag in the profile where we set the update flag true. So by doing that, whenever a user in the front end just refresh his app, so he will automatically get redirected to the update canister functionality, where in the front end we fetch the wasm file of this newly created canister, and we send that wasm file to the backend, and in the backend then using that management canister we start the installation process. So just let me tell you where that all happens. Okay, so yeah, so wait, I just actually it's happening in the main canister. I'm just letting you know. Just no. So get canister IP. So I will let you know in the end. It's just somewhere I'm not finding that functionality implementation. In the meanwhile, let me just explain you how I'm sharing the public files. So whenever you click on that public file to make that URL public to everyone, what's happening is we are actually making that file accessible to everyone. So here we will remove that access of msg.caller, which is,
I think that Ravish, that wasm file you're referring to, that's in the profile.jsx. That is used, like if we update some code on our end. Like if we add new functions to the user file canister, then we have to upload that new WASM file, which then when user logs in the next time, that WASM file is used to update its canisters. And like right now we do have two controllers here. One is the admin of IC drive and other is the user controller. But the admin's sole purpose is to just provide the future updates. Like user can have an option in future to remove the admin as well. On the trade-off that he won't be getting any new updates that will come to the IC drive in the future.
Yeah, so thanks, Nandit. Yeah, it's here. So when the user triggers the update process, we just read the WASM file from the front end, and from the front end itself we call the management canister and install the update. So from here we are doing that update operation, and your canister and gets updated. So yeah, so okay, now continuing to the update function itself. So there are two functions which are provided by Motoko. One is the pre-upgrade function and another one is the post-upgrade function. So there are certain data types that you cannot declare as stable, and try map is one of them, which we are using for storing our files. So for that purpose, you can actually convert that try map into array, store entire try map data into an array during this pre-update process, and array could be declared as a stable variable. So during the pre-upgrade, all the data gets stored in an array which is stable. The canister gets updated, and during the post-update operation, all the files from the array again get transferred to the try map data structure, and we empty the array. So this is how we are updating the canister. Now going to the public part. So whenever you are trying to suppose you have your own canister and you want to access your file, so we go for a check. The check is if the caller of this if particular query is actually the owner of that particular canister or not. So if he is the owner of that particular canister, then only he can fetch the file or update the files. But if he is not the owner of that canister, then and a null will be returned at the front end. He won't be able to say anything. So when you make a file public, we remove this particular check, and when we remove this particular check, all the users are able to see that particular file. This is what happening in whenever you are making the file public. And now during P2P sharing, so when suppose I shared my file to Nandit, so in that case what we are doing is we are actually storing all the username to which a particular file is shared in an array. Now what Nandit will do is, what I will do is I will add the username of Nandit inside that array. Now whenever Nandit calls my canister and starts fetching that particular file, my function will actually firstly check if I have actually shared my file to Nandit or not. If I have shared my file to Nandit, then he will start returning the file, otherwise he will return null. So in that case, in this way we are able to do this P2P sharing operation, and all of our code is open source. You can go to the IC Drive GitHub repository and take a look at our entire code, and in case you have any query, you can ask us anytime. So that's it from my side. Over to Nandit.
Yeah, on that, like one more note that previously during our beta program, like people were complaining that viewing the file is quite slow. So that was probably because we were storing our chunk data in NAT8 data structure variable. But then I guess Gabriel, he's not in the call right now. So he pointed out that maybe use blob rather than NAT8 on the Discord. So we went with blob. So that really helped improving the query speed of the whole chunks to show the images in a pretty quicker manner. So yeah, that is one another note to end on the code side. And like coming on the like some of the future plans, like we are definitely seeing, like we have been even talking to some of the companies who handle documents like real estate documents, loan documents, and not in every company this whole process is quite seamless. So like some companies are like, okay, if you can create some way that there is a list of companies whom which user can share data to, so that could be an interesting use case, and we are planning to build that flow line so that if you want to share some loan documents with a loan company, rather than it just being a personal data storage and sharing file, you can actually use that for those operations if that company has signed up to get your data, so you can securely share with them via IC drive only. Another interesting use case that we are looking onto is digital signatures. Even I think we were seeing that Kyle was referring that to in his recent tweets, like how DocuSign does it, like how you sign documents, and like that is even considered in courts since it's that secure. Like we are seeing, okay, how can that be implemented? And yeah, those are some of our plans going forward. Along with there is this another use case of pay-per-view media, where if you want, you can make one of your files share to public, but then again restricted, so that if someone would pay in, let's say, some IC drive tokens or something else, that could be the one way to restrict access to your file, so that the creator or any influencer can use that to their own good use. So yeah, like happy to answer some of the questions that any of you might have.
I've got a question about when we share files publicly. Presently, we can share PDF files and JPEGs, I believe. Do you have plans to open it up so that we can share other documents publicly?
Yeah, definitely. Like images and PDFs are supported right now. Probably soon you will be able to share videos. You can do it right now, but we restricted that because we wanted it to be shown here in a proper streaming buffer manner. So that should definitely be included in some coming releases.
Yeah,
Thank you.
so we are working on some way to stream the data from backend to the front end, and so once we are up to done with that process, it will be open for other files as well.
Yeah, video seems an interesting use case. Other than that, I guess for other files, it could be that it gets downloaded right away. So if it's a zip file, if someone opens that link, it starts download right away. So that's definitely one thing we can do forward.
I was wondering if you have any plans to do a Dropbox-like integration, maybe using WebDAV or some other standard, so that like you can treat IC Drive as kind of an extension of your local file system on your computer.
I think that would be quite interesting, like how even Dropbox would do, like it shows up like one of your disks, um, but still we'll have to see how that interface could be. Like we have that, like right now the front end is in React and the back end Canister. So um, I guess if we can support that Windows or other systems functionality, then maybe IC Drive could be shown as one of the uh, another drives in your local space, where when you go online it gets transferred. But I guess we are not yet sure how to do that, but could be figured out in the future, because I think people do use that functionality. And another, I've seen that there is this thing that on Dropbox itself, they have allowed people to build extensions on top of Dropbox. So even apart from our future goals to allow other people to build extensions on IC Drive, even we can be an extension to your Dropbox. So it's like even if you're used to using Dropbox, and then it could be like automatically your files on Dropbox can move to IC Drive directly from the IC Drive interface. Or if you want to, let's say, use a sharing functionality, that could be done through your current Dropbox interface as well, if you're used to that. If that answers your question.
Hey Nandit, I have another question too. So I know that right now users are preloaded with like a certain amount of cycles to get them going. you have that functionality yet to allow people to like refill their canisters? Or how are you thinking about that?
I think actually right now what one can do is just go to their profile and there is this canister ID that shows up. So if you're a developer, just run a command on your local terminal like dfx canister deposit cycles to this canister name which is on your profile, and then the number of amount you want to transfer. Or for now you can use maybe some other wallets that other teams are building like Dank or the other one Tonic. So if you just enter your canister ID there, so your cycles would show up here. If you can transfer using other wallets. That is one way you can do it right now. Although we need to make user aware of that, we have not made aware of them right now, since we have already topped up with some cycles, but that would be expired in future. But in future, as we maybe integrate some other wallets in the ecosystem, there could be a way to user to do dynamically as they log in into our app.
Cool, thank you.
Cool. I mean, so you guys have been building the IC for a few months now. I guess any like lessons from the road, like anything that you would say that you didn't know when you started that might have made things easier, now that you're more experts? Like, how is the journey been? Did you learn any new pieces of wisdom?
Yeah,
I
so
think on
definitely.
yeah, please go
Yeah,
ahead,
Nandan,
Ravish.
go ahead. So
No, please.
actually, we really like this programming language, firstly Motoko. So if you are a new developer, then the learning curve is really low. You quickly get accustomed to this ecosystem and then start developing. Secondly, there are a few other things which I like. There is no need to worry about load balancer. The put your app into the production is really easy, which we really appreciate. And regarding blockers, initially, so when we started there were blockers with like how to scale the canister and stuff. So initially we were not figuring able to figure that out, but slowly and slowly as the community start developing in the forums, also people started putting their solutions. So we referred to that and built our system. Then next we were stuck on the updating the canister. So okay, we are able to scale the canister, but now we are not able to update the canister which gets scaled. How to do that? Then we figure out our own solution. Okay, let's do it from the front end itself. So actually Kyle's codes were really useful for us. We have been referring to a lot of codes which he has put it on GitHub, and a lot of the answers which he has written on forum, and there were many other developers as well. So this was like my development journey. Now, Nandit.
Yeah, I think one interesting thing that we learned, I think that's what I am gonna take in future for my future projects and even IC Drive going forward is like testing the market as soon as possible. It's like one user demand is one thing, but your product itself is another thing. So we were thinking, okay, after our milestone one got over last month for the grant, we were thinking, okay, let's put in this feature, this digital signature feature, some other pay-per-view features. But we thought, okay, let's first what we have launch it to users. Like right now, there are over 170 people who have tested or using the app, and they use that simple form like feedback form on our dashboard, and we got a lot of like some people bash some UI things, some people give suggestions that okay this thing can be done better. So we actually felt that even that process we did was pretty good to show it to some early users and not till that point revealed to everyone. It could be revealed to everyone, but that was our process to get feedback. And even these simple things like thumbnails that you are seeing and hovering and you get all of this information. So I guess this has been a result of what users have told us. Okay, this is missing. Your view okay, we understand that the update query when you upload the file that is slow, but query should be as fast as possible. So we were like, okay, how can we make that fast? And there is this thing that public URLs were not getting shown on other social networks when you were sharing the link there. So how to fix metadata of that. So uh, I think those were some interesting lessons that when you release to users as soon as possible, rather than you deciding on all the features and what all fixes could be or where could the app fail, sometimes your early users can definitely help into that. And that's one great learning that I've learned when building IC Drive. And I think we all have seen how good the community is. Like people generally encourage you on various social networks just by a simple comment or like on your tweet means a lot that okay, some people are interested. But yeah, another thing that we are seeing that okay, now it's time for us to see okay where our niche audience lies. Although everyone can use it as a general private storage app, and we can have better user experience like Dropbox way of doing that. Okay, on your local storage it could be backed up rather than going to this website IC Drive. So that are some interesting functionalities going forward. But like talking to some people in the real estate or loan industry who are still saying that getting documents and even users are somewhere like when you apply to multiple loan companies. I remember the time when I was applying for education loan in the university. I submitted like two to three companies and they were like 10-15 documents. So I was not sure like why are they asking everything on my email. So building some of that streams could be helpful going forward. So yeah, those were some of learnings on our end.
Very cool. And so you did mention for you said you've taken some learnings for your future projects and even IC Drive's future. So I guess what does the future of IC Drive look like from you? I mean, you said you're already talking to some customers and trying to figure out niche use cases. But you guys still hope to work on this project, or you hope to make it a community project, or what is the plan with respect to development of IC Drive?
Yeah, definitely this effort won't have to be wasted. So we will be working on this going forward. One thing like I want to mention again is that this way of having one canister per user and users having control over that, that opens a lot of possibilities. Let's say 6 months down the line we mess up with like we move on to some other projects, but users have control on their canisters. So if someone spins up another front end, they'll have to figure out that identity part, but users can move on their canisters to some other front end like Uniswap is doing when they are censored in multiple countries. But yeah, like we do plan to make it going forward. Like DAO system is something which is growing in the industry. Like a lot of people are already talking about it right now, and I think this is the year when NFTs have just shot up in the sky. Next year would be for DAOs. So definitely we have even joined some of the DAOs communities to see how they are doing, like Gitcoin DAO, some like Synthetics DAO. So like how are they doing these processes? How do they get people involved? So we are like, okay, this is some initial stuff that we have built the base product. But let's say if we want to build something like uh, Google Docs on it, like a collaborative text editor. Why we both do it? Why not community do it through a DAO mechanism? So that is our key goal. And this SNS thing that's coming up, that the whole standardization of process to launch your governance token and then distribute it to other users, or this Exxon way of doing that. We are very much looking forward to incorporate that in coming months and build a community around it. And it could be like IC Drive DAO or IC suite of apps DAO where other people can also propose apps and then some common mechanism can be used to reward them. So that would be something that we are excited in coming months.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. I look forward to the DAO driven future. Super cool.
I have a question for you. How far are you from, for example, a feature for tagging some files? So, for example, you tag an image as your profile picture, and for example, another service on the internet computer just requests your IC drive canister and gets the profile picture from it. So how far are you from that? Is it possible, and are you looking to implement it?
You mean like taking some other profile or gravatar like
Yeah,
system and
so
integrating?
for example, I'm building a website or a platform on the internet computer, and I don't want my users to have a specific profile picture for my website. I want to query from your IC drive the profile picture of my users. And I think it's possible, but I haven't really thought about that. But maybe you have.
Yes, so we are in the process of building it, and you will also be able to embed it on Discover.one and other platforms too. So you keep your file in your drive and then you embed it in other platforms.
Okay, and how will it like present from the outside, like for external canisters? How will it be presented?
Yeah, it has to be made public currently, but for private something, then we have to figure out some way. Currently, we have not thought about it.
Okay, thanks.
I think there could be this additional thing that since with internet identity, it's like there is this pseudonymity where the user is not tracked across multiple apps. So like if user makes one of their file public and then share to your app as a profile picture, that is one different thing. But if they want to use some like IC Drive profile picture of one of their private app, there could be some issues here related to identity because we cannot just allow it right away. So maybe we can allow users to do it some way that, okay, if you want to share this particular file with some other, let's say it's a profile picture with some other service. So maybe on your service, you can have some sort of an access token that user enters on our app. So that is like, okay, only you as an app will be able to get that file out of the user canister. But yeah, but it would still be tricky to implement on private file to like app canisters transfer.
Yeah,
If
sure.
that answers
Thanks.
your question.
Yeah.
Yeah, like although I am definitely seeing that, okay, like there has to be some good way for apps to communicate with each other. So there should be some way like I don't know, like we can start off with building some standard for that, but
yeah, I was
like,
thinking
I'm
about
thinking about that a lot too.
yeah.
That's one of the things that IC Avatar is going to get to kind of towards the end of the series is after I get like upload a profile picture and have your basic bio, how does another canister talk to that? I'm thinking about doing kind of like a push request model where like the service sends a request to the canister, then links to it, then I do like a bit of an OAuth opportunity to come in, say okay after I've like logged into the service, and then redirect you back after having done it. Like I'll try and get like a decent flow and pattern for that because I think that's something that a lot of services, once we actually get these user bases and want them to start like interacting with each other, we need to solve that problem.
definitely like that sounds interesting. And like even we were thinking, okay, like to communicate between apps or even like to communicate to provide some notification service, something like that could be essential, like a flow like that. So let's say right now you go to these multiple apps like Discover, District, even IC Drive. Okay, like how do we notify someone that their cycles are going down the base limit of 2.5 million, where their canisters would not be accessible after that, like, or even like when their canisters storage is going above 4 GB. So there should be some way to notify users across other apps, and then maybe have some common interface where he can manage those connections and then get notifications. So that could be some interesting, even another app to build upon, like build IC Notify, something where you get all your notifications via push service. Like Ethereum has this thing called Ethereum push notification service from last year, so something like that for other apps. Again, that flow can be used for inter apps transfer of data as well.
OpenChat is trying to solve that right now for and they're going with the service worker route. It actually revealed a limitation to the ic0.app domain for being able to even install that kind of a service worker. So we're working to like enable that, and then once they go open source, that'll be kind of a pattern to copy. But then there can be other ways of doing push notifications, of course, as well.
Definitely looking forward to how they implement it.
Ravish,
So,
can you put your, sorry,
Go ahead.
could you put
Yeah.
your GitHub link in the chat for later?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
So, question on the user adoption side of things. So you mentioned that you currently have about 170 users that have kind of started testing it. What do you see as the top challenges currently with respect to, let's say, driving adoption, or maybe scaling that to, say, about 10,000 users or something? So any like things that you've identified? And the reason why I ask is I'm wondering if there's an opportunity for the community to kind of help you with some of that. So just curious if you have identified some of those opportunities yourself.
I think sharing is one important functionality. Like even if someone is not using IC Drive, but if you share some of the files that you have to some another user, that is one powerful way of other person letting know that there is some app like this. Like when people post that on multiple forums or could be on social networks, share our files, or even something like District or Discover. But we see that maybe that may not push some users to join in IC Drive, but maybe this access restricted feature where going forward you can share a file, but it's access restricted only when you log into IC Drive, even if it's not restricted to some users or payment system, but you can only view it only if you log into IC Drive. That could be an important way of doing that. But still thinking about like, okay, like maybe the niche audience is the way to go forward, because that is something that can bring revenue in and some more value to the users. There is this thing that these other apps like Google Drive have that advantage, especially Dropbox, like on your local storage, and then you have a mobile app as well. So multi-platform compatibility could also help in future. But although now you can use, like we do have a mobile version, if you open on your web browser in your mobile, you can use it. Forgot to show it on the stream. But I guess your sharing feature would be the one way where I can see could add value to scaling to a big amount of users in coming months.
I mean, the key things that worked for Dropbox, and again, like it was obviously to do with the fact that they were obviously charging users for this. So, I mean, the key thing that worked for them was like they would like if you refer your friends, and they would give you an extra like GB of storage for X time, right? So In terms of like
Yeah.
how they achieve their viral loop, that was all around, hey, you pay X, let's say $10 for the service, but we would waive that off if you bring another friend to join it. So that was the mechanism. And again, the same thing could absolutely apply, but obviously for that, you would need to think about like users paying for this. And again, it may be a little too early, but just throwing that out. I think another thing that what Dropbox and some of those guys do well is like it's obviously related to the sharing thing that you're talking about, which is like so rather than absolutely restricting access, they would basically bring the person to their. So you click on a file, you reach a landing page, and they try to upsell you first before, and then have no, I don't want to sign up and show me my file. So they create that kind of an experience where at least people get an opportunity to like try out your service before they get access to the file. So it's like a sort of like a, I mean, I wouldn't call it a paywall, but it's at least an ad wall for you to then give access to the other things. In terms of like, I know we were obviously talking about like some aspect of like funding some users initially for cycles. Do you in terms of like sustainability, have you given any thoughts in terms of what are you thinking about? And again, this is more like a business question, but curious to see if I know you mentioned DAOs and stuff. Are you also exploring other avenues?
Yeah, like even we feel that offering just 600 billion cycles every time would cost us too much. Like we cannot do it if we want to, let's say, scale to 100,000 users. So what we were thinking is maybe on your point, on your previous point, like the scalability thing uh, on the sharing way, like you bring friends over, then you get some more storage. So that is definitely one key thing that Dropbox did, and before that, PayPal sent a benchmark for. So scaling we can figure out in that way, but paying for, we were thinking that okay, can we maybe use something like even IPFS here, where on the dashboard when you come here, because IPFS is cheap, let's say 20 times cheaper than storage on internet computer, but comes with a cost of security. But it could be like, okay, you can come to IC Drive, you can use IPFS, which is a storage medium, like we can name it some way. Let's say a secure storage like Google Drive and Dropbox, but then you have an option to use something like even more secure storage where your data would be stored on chain, on canisters, on internet computer. So I think like many platforms, even I am seeing that okay, which are the other platforms doing this Web3 version of storage apps. Like one of that I saw Chain Safe Systems built one on top of IPFS, and they're like literally giving 4 to 5 GBs of data for free because storage is cheaper. And I guess the key cost to us for cycles, again, it is for long-term storage itself. So maybe that could be our basic offering, that if you want to do this you can use it, but it may not be on-chain storage. So that could be an option to at least bring users in so that they can have cost compared to Dropbox and Google Drive, but then they can explore other avenues like internet computer storage, in which case those additional functionalities like digital signatures that we are planning, a pay-per-view media, those could be only possible when you do it on the internet computer storage part of that whole storage system.
Got it.
Like
Thank you.
that would drive the cost for new users
Thank
as
you.
like when new users sign up, cost would be less to us.
Interesting. No, thank you. Some good thoughts there. One more slightly unrelated. So you shared some interesting feedback in terms of some of the blockers that you encountered, especially around how to scale the canisters or updating the canisters, and like how like some of the do you have any plans to kind of document it out your journey and kind of share that with the community so some of those thinks could be a good learning ground for people who are kind of attempting in the future?
Yeah, so currently Nandit has written some blogs, but I'm also planning to do a video series on programming with Motoko. And so currently
Yay,
we were just
awesome.
yeah, rushing with completing the application and launch it for whole set of users in the next week. So didn't get that much time, but most probably from within 1 or 2 weeks we will start rolling out some tutorial videos as well.
Yeah, also Ravish, I guess you were telling that rather than like video part could take some time, but I guess Ravish has made this whole list that we both contribute to, which contains every error that we came across when we started to this point. So maybe that could be also
Yeah.
put on some blogs
So
following the blog that we've already written.
So when we started, actually on 15th, we started taking a note of all the errors that we were facing, because any new developer who comes into this ecosystem might face those similar errors. So just to reduce their time, we have created a list of all those errors. We will also be publishing them.
That's super helpful. Thank you so much, guys, for that.
Awesome. We have a couple minutes left. Anybody else have questions? Cool. Well, thanks so much, Nandit and Ravish, for the demo. This is really, really cool. And I really like this format. Hopefully everybody else enjoyed it. Getting to see what the team's been working on with their dev grant for the last few months. And yeah, I think the link to IC Drive was posted in the stream channel. So if you didn't get a chance to check that out, all the code is open source. If you have questions, Nandit and Ravish, I'm sure we'll be able to answer those for you. But yeah, thanks everybody for joining. This was great.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Reach out to us on Discord.